Welcome back to another episode of Beyond the Check podcast. My guest today is all about the biscuits. She has a deep, deep love for this wonderful culinary flaky creation. In fact, she loves them so much, she started a business out of it. It's called Biscuit Belly, and they make a lot of biscuits. Ladies and gentlemen, Lauren Colter. Hi, Lauren.
Hi, thanks so much for having me. That was quite an intro. I think I might carry it with me everywhere I go.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I try to hype up my guests as best as possible.
As good as you can make a biscuit girl sound, I feel like I'm there with this. So thank you.
Hey, people love biscuits. I mean, from biscuits to the English scone, the small loaf of bread has made it around the world. I'm a big fan of sausage gravy and biscuits. Personally, is my favorite way to enjoy a biscuit.
Yep.
How did you get started in your love for biscuits?
Well, I'm originally from Georgia, so very, very much in tune with the Southern classic biscuit. My best friend when I was little, her grandmother every morning made fresh biscuits. So her name was Dit Dot, which is totally an appropriate name for the grandma that makes the homemade biscuits every morning, isn't it? But we would wake up every morning. She'd be rolling out her dough, and we enjoyed the fruits of her labor. And I don't know, you just kind of grow up in that. You probably, if you're like me, you take it for granted a little bit. And my husband also grew up in Georgia, right outside of Athens in a little country town. And so when we moved to Louisville, we were both pharmacists by training, and we kind of dabbled in some small business ventures. Then that parlayed into the restaurant space, and something like week 2 of opening our first restaurant, my husband was saying, we need to do a biscuit place. We need to do a biscuit place. And I was like, you're an idiot. Nobody up here is going to like biscuits. These Louisville.
Kentucky. It's like the South. They like biscuits in Kentucky.
Louisville likes to not think of themselves as the South. So they're kind of this right on the border space. And I just thought, all these people are too posh for our country biscuits. And, my husband, where he grew up, like every corner store had these delicious biscuit sandwiches. And so we grew the other concept to 5 locations in 3 states. And it was a nighttime wine-focused place. But this whole time, he's kind of tugging at me saying, let's do biscuits. And finally, he wears me down is usually how these things happen. And we opened up our first Biscuit Belly, and it went gangbusters. It was great. And so
people wanted a breakfast biscuit sandwich?
I
don't believe you.
Well, and I think the thing about Biscuit Belly that makes it unique, it's not just a delicious biscuit sandwich. There's a lot of those. I mean, Chick-fil-A, like amazing biscuit sandwich, and heck, like people can judge me, but I love a good McDonald's bacon, egg, and cheese. I just think it's so good. I don't know what it is about it.
I mean, they are buttery and delicious. I love McDonald's sausage gravy too. I won't eat it anymore, but I love it. And I still love it. I miss it.
Yep. But I mean,
I'm a crazy health nut now, so I can't.
Oh, okay. Then you're very smart. Our space, I think that what it does, in addition to just having this delicious food and very Instagrammable food, just the combinations of like flavors and how we plate our dishes and everything, it really is just an amazing, fun, engaging environment. So people feel at home and cozy. So it's more of an experience than you would get at some of these other places. They can have great service and all these things, but you are not going to feel rushed or like you're just in this.
You want to feel like you're in Dit Dot's kitchen again.
Yes, that's actually, that is a cute way to think of it. Like, yes, exactly. You want to feel like you're in Dit Dot's kitchen and you're getting an elevated level of service compared to a lot of these places. But also it's just a, beautiful space and a beautiful experience.
So do we dib dab and in a multitude of different styles of biscuits, or what is our style of biscuit? Are we the flaky level crust? Are we the more dense crumbly biscuit? Where do we land at Biscuit Belly for our biscuits?
That is a great question. A lot of people don't appreciate how much time and energy is put into figuring out what kind of biscuit is best for what you're trying to do. So, a lot of people like that Pillsbury, like very
flaky leveled.
Flaky. We have to have a biscuit that can hold up to a big piece of fried chicken sandwich with some pimento cheese smeared on top and some, delicious acidic pickles on the top. So it takes a bit more of a dense biscuit. And I will tell you, we opened our first Biscuit Belly in 2019. Our biscuit is constantly a work in progress. I mean, as we're bringing on more and more stores, opening more stores into the brand, fine tuning our processes has been just so needed, but also so helpful for the customer experience.
Needed.
Yeah, it's kind of a big deal, right? For your biscuits to be consistent everywhere. And so we've had to look at why are some people's a little more flat and why are some really high? Our biscuits, when they're baked, they are just shy of being able to be pulled out of the oven. We're with the oven racks in each thing. So we have a very big biscuit, and it is a process. We require fresh biscuits to be made each day. So when you come in at 8 o'clock, 7:30 in the morning, you're getting a scratch made biscuit that morning, not leftover.
Just as you would in Grandma's kitchen.
Yes, at Dit Dot's in her kitchen. Right.
I love it. So what's your I imagine obviously the chicken biscuit, but what other fun sandwiches are on the menu?
My favorites, we have something we call the goat. Louisville is the home of Muhammad Ali. It's where he found himself. And so we had him in mind when we created this biscuit, but it's a piece of fried chicken with goat cheese and pepper jelly. So simple, but delicious house-made ingredients. Well, the goat cheese is not. We do bring that in. But it is so good. It's so balanced. It's amazing. One of my other favorites is called the Mama's Boy, and it's got a piece of fried chicken. Are you noticing a trend here of the ones that I like?
I am. Yes.
Piece of fried chicken, the pimento cheese, some of our delicious pickles on the top, and the pimento cheese we make, and it's just it is just so good. It's so good. We do
Have you not had lunch yet?
Yeah, I know. I had a veggie salad for lunch, so.
Because just talking about your biscuits is making you hungry.
I know,
so
exactly.
They must be good.
Exactly.
Can I get a sausage gravy and biscuit? I just have to know.
So this is a good question. We use something called Geta. Have you ever heard of Geta?
No. What's Geta?
So Geta, we do have sausage in our gravy, but in addition to that, we do this Geta, like a 5-pound thing of sausage, a 5-pound thing of Geta. Geta is a bit unique to the Cincinnati space, and our chef that is a piece of Biscuit Belly, he is from Cincinnati and brought this recipe to us. And Geta is what immigrants used way back in the day to help make their meat last a bit longer. So it's got a bit more texture. They add oats in it and things like that. So it's a bit different than Dit Dot's sausage gravy. But it's interesting our gravy goes on a handful of biscuits. And then obviously we offer biscuits and gravy, and it's so, so good. But we do our famous Geta gravy. We do a mushroom gravy that is seriously a fan favorite. Oh my gosh. Who's that?
It's storming outside, and
so got it.
She gets really scared.
Nervous.
It's Sugar.
Hey, Sugar, how cute.
So I gotta hold her now because she's
anxious.
storming.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we have our geta gravy, our mushroom gravy, which is so good. I even tell people, like, if you don't like mushrooms, that's okay. Try this. You're going to like it. It
You're
is
gonna like it.
so good. We have a Mornay, and then at special times, we do a chocolate gravy. So February, Valentine's Day, s'mores.
Chocolate biscuit and gravy. I've never had such a thing. Tell me more.
Oh, yeah. It's so, so good. So good.
Why? Where did that come from?
One of our cooks, his grandmother always made it, and he was just like, we should do it. And so when we opened, we carried it all the time. And it was just something that as you're growing, our menus, we had to do some menu optimization. When you look at the things that are selling versus not, it didn't sell as much. And so a special like vaulted recipe that we bring in for February, Valentine's Day-ish timing. And then in the fall for like when it's starting to get cooler, we're thinking campfires, cozy. So a little chocolate s'more type.
A little chocolate s'more biscuit. I am so into that.
Super healthy, let me tell you.
So what inspired like the move from being a pharmacist into the restaurant industry? Like, I'm sure you were making perfectly decent money. Why risk the biscuit and go into the restaurant industry?
We did it rather slow, I will say. My husband and I were both full-time. And then when we started opening restaurants, he backed down to part-time. And then once we got to, I think, the fourth one, he pulled out entirely of his role. And at some point in there, I went part-time. And then it just, at some point, it's a lot of work. People are like, oh, it's so great to own your own business. Like, yeah,
it's a restaurant. It is literally one of the hardest businesses to succeed in you could possibly start.
Yes. And so people, I think it's easy to underestimate how much goes into it before the doors even open. So my husband just had me helping him do administrative work. And once we decided that we really wanted to grow Biscuit Belly, we shifted into more of a legitimate company setup, like arrangement. I don't know if you've ever heard of EOS. We run on EOS. So he's the visionary and I'm the integrator is my technical term or my technical role. Integrator and chief biscuit eater are my very important jobs.
Someone's got to test the biscuits, okay? Someone has to do it.
And so now, I think that we have a small team, but we're very organized, very set up for success, and just excited to see where things continue to take us.
You want to go ahead and explain EOS?
Oh, sure. Oh, yes. You're going to have some people who are like, what are you talking about? And then some that are like, I love EOS. Like there's only two camps. EOS is called the Entrepreneurial Operating System. It's just a way to make sure everyone on your team is moving in the same direction. So a lot of companies have this visionary role, which is what my husband is. And I liken it to like somebody chasing after the shiny new object. So like, oh yeah, I want to do Biscuit Belly and tomorrow I want to try this. And hey, what about this? Could we do this? And like our team, for the first 2 years, they're getting whiplash.
Just running around with, their heads cut off going, what do you really want me to do?
Yes. And then it's, a lot of people have this in a manager, like, okay. And they go and they start working and then they come back and he's like, oh, I'm not that into that today, And so what EOS has really helped us do is figure out where do we want to be? Let's call it 7 years, 10 years, have these big goals. But then what does that mean we need to accomplish in 5? And then let's back that down. What do we need to accomplish in 3? And to do that, what do we need to accomplish in 1? And to do that, what do we need to get done in the next 90 days? And so our goals are very metric driven and, revenue, profit centric. For us, it's a lot of what are each stores doing, same store sales, what do our transaction counts look like? So we have those goals that we have to reach every 90 days. And if we don't reach them, we have to be like, hey, what's going on? And it allows us to say, hey, our team is at capacity. No, yes, that shiny new toy over here looks really cool, but we have no capacity to do that. And so it's given us kind of a common language to be able to speak and all just work together. I would say being married to somebody that you work with, it's also been great for our marriage because we can be very
business oriented and then relationship oriented.
Yes,
because there's a system in place.
Yes. If you systemize
systems.
it works. It's fun.
Systems, pre-planning. You have a plan and you execute said plan.
Exactly. So
brilliant. Awesome. So, do you still love biscuits after all the other bullshit that goes along with the business of biscuits? Still love to make. We make biscuits at home. Do you ever just like roll out some biscuits at home anymore?
I will I've done it more as like a testing ground because we've played around with the idea of selling our biscuit mix that we put together. We've tossed around the idea of selling it as part of our merchandise. And so I've attempted to do it a handful of times. I think like anything, even making biscuits, it's a lot harder than it looks, but it's so good. So I'll give it a whirl. Let's say when I work in the kitchen, my job is not biscuits. I'm on bacon or takeout or dish. Those are my jobs. I'm a hell of a dish.
So that was going to be my next question. So where all can we get a biscuit?
Yeah.
For Biscuit Belly right now?
We have 12 locations open. So we are in Louisville, Kentucky, Lexington, Kentucky, Ackworth, Georgia, Huntsville, Alabama, Hoover, Alabama, Raleigh, North Carolina, Chesapeake, Virginia, and Norfolk, Virginia. We will have two.
I'm gonna need the Savannah store. Where's my Biscuit Belly Savannah?
I would love to. Jacksonville, I think there's a real opportunity all around there. I love Savannah. We're doing kind of a joint venture thing in Atlanta, but I would love to see us continue to kind of grow down into South Georgia area.
Starland District is all the rage down here now. Yeah. So if you can get the other side of Forsyth Park.
Yes. Oh, I love. Now you're bringing it all back to me. I love Savannah so much. Forsyth. It's so crazy.
Your husband, you're gonna get off this call and go back and hang out and see your husband and be like, honey, we need a Savannah store.
Yes. He's gonna be like, he could figure it out. We do have a location. Okay, we have 2 stores opening in Charlotte, like the Charlotte market, in mid-August and mid-September. And then we actually have a store opening in Summerville, South Carolina, hopefully by the end of the year. They say it's going to happen by the end of the year.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, we're close. Charleston, Savannah, we can get there.
We can get there. Yeah. I believe in you. So, random question. How proud were your parents when you told them that you were going to quit your pharmacy jobs and run restaurants after spending all that money on those degrees?
No joke. I think my mom still questions what we're doing. I think my grandmother's probably embarrassed, but
well, Dit should be super proud.
Yeah, Dit proud. That was dicey, but also, my husband is one of the most hardworking humans I've ever met. He makes me look and feel very lazy, and I work incredibly hard. And so I don't know, when he gets onto something, failure isn't an option. It's like, we're doing this, we're going to do it right, and we're going to do it well. And so I think they trust his leadership, for our family and for Biscuit Belly, just what we're doing. And pharmacy, no offense to any pharmacists that might be listening, but it's just it's kind of a hard gig these days. So,
and boring, I'm guessing. Really boring.
Well, it can just feel a little bit, depending on what you do. I have some friends that, love their pharmacy roles and have cool jobs and love it. So, I think if I went back to pharmacy, I would try to go work at Chewy or something like that.
Company.
Yeah, not have retail.
Yeah. Do you have any advice for people who are out there at the farmers market trying to sell their wares, who want to get into owning their own restaurant, running their own food business of some sort? Horror stories, maybe a startup hiccup that you encountered that you had to overcome that you didn't expect?
No real horror stories. I would say if you
surprises.
Yeah, I think that just the people first mentality is it just, you have to have it to survive. You know, people think it's all about the food, but I would argue that it's like 60% about the people and how they make people feel, you know, when they come into the restaurant. And then if the food is excellent, then that's just an added zinger. I think it's a lot harder and it will take a lot more time than you think to do the things that you probably want to do. That's been a pretty tough lesson for us because my husband's like, go, go, go. And, you know, sometimes just the world doesn't move quite as fast as Chad Colter's.
You want them to.
Yeah, so.
Calm down, Chad. It's going to be okay.
Settle down.
Awesome. So where can we go look at your biscuits and follow you and find out all about the Biscuit Belly?
Okay. Well, our website's awesome, biscuitbelly.com. But now that we're talking about this, we got hacked on Instagram last week.
Oh, no.
Give us your... Yeah, it's still hacked. So our marketing director has been working. Usually we're on Instagram at Biscuit Belly Biscuits. And I think that is probably the best like images and views of what people see. I mean, for the first 2 years of being open, we didn't have anyone in marketing. We used totally consumer driven content that, you know, customers took pictures and we posted them.
Reused them. Yeah.
And we gave everyone the love and we were like, this is incredible. But, you know, as we grow and really cared more about our voice and our consistent messaging, we've had a shift there. But yeah, it looks like our Insta is still hacked. So if you know anyone, if anyone's listening,
no.
And hopefully it's fixed by the time this is aired. But if not, if anyone knows anyone at Meta, it's not easy.
So the whole Meta business got hacked?
Yes, I think so.
Oh,
it is
no.
wild.
Someone clicked on something they should not have clicked on.
I know. That's what I kept asking. Like, did we do this? Did somebody else do this? You can still search Biscuit Belly and see a lot of good content. But yeah, it's just.
Well, this won't air for a month, so feel free to go check again, everybody, and see if
No, I'm like
Biscuit Belly Biscuits.
Mm-hmm. Biscuit Belly Biscuits.
Biscuit Belly Biscuits at Biscuit Belly Biscuits, which I'm sure you can get to via the website at biscuitbelly.com and click on that Instagram icon and see if we're back up and running yet.
Please, Lord, please.
Fingers crossed for you, darling.
Thank you.
This is my last super important question.
Okay.
What are you having for dinner tonight since you're on vacation in Florida? I imagine you're probably going out to eat. What you doing?
Yes. I am having, I think the place that I'm going to tonight has delicious crab cakes. And I am a sucker for a good crab cake. I feel like I make really good crab cakes, and usually I don't eat out and buy things that I can make. But down here, I'm like, these are good. These are good crab cakes.
Yeah, but it's relatively difficult to find good crab cakes in Kentucky, I'm guessing.
In Kentucky, yeah. That lump crab meat's like $50 a, little 8-ounce thing. So
get it in Florida while you can. Eat all the crab cakes.
Exactly.
Cool. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for hanging out with me on your vacation.
Oh, thank you.
She's on vacation and still working. So,
Hey, my life. This is how it is.
Tell Chad he's got something to keep up with too. So.
There we go. Yep. Well, hopefully your doggy feels better soon. Poor little thing.
Yeah, it's supposed to storm for most of the afternoon. So this is going to be the next couple hours of my life is just holding her. Sometimes we go get a blanket and just get under the thunder fort in bed and just hide under there.
It's awesome.
Wish I had some fresh baked biscuits to have in this beautiful rainy day.
If only. That's awesome.
Only. Well, next time I'm in Kentucky or any of those other spots, I'm going to go look for you. And you should go look for them too. And maybe one day you can order the biscuit mix online from the website.
Yes. That's awesome.
Awesome.
All right.
All right, everybody, go check out biscuitbelly.com. Lauren is awesome, and her husband is the hardest working man in biscuits besides her.
True.
It's true. Get you some biscuits in your belly at Biscuit Belly.
There we go. Thank you.
There we go. You're welcome. Cheers, darling. Well, have fun on the rest of your vacation.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Order up.